Welcome to the Empowerment Blueprint. I got my guy Ray Martinez here. We're going to be talking about community empowerment and the little things that we got going on, both myself and Ray. Just describing everything about what we can do to uplift the community, everything I have going on, job creations, politics. We're going to ruffle a few feathers along the way, but, I'm excited about discussing a lot of the topics that we got. So, Ray, why don't you start talking?
Actually, I have a question for you right away. You're known as Mrflipdahood?
Mrflipdahood.
I have a question for that. So a lot of people can look down on companies that come in to try flipping, turning in neighborhoods, making them better. But how do you do that without gentrifying?
That's a great question, because that was one of my concerns when I first started off. I'm like, I want to ensure that while, I am uplifting and beautifying the community, I'm doing it in a sense to where I'm not gentrifying the community and putting our people, our Black and brown people, out of position to actually be able to purchase. So I do it in a way of using affordable housing to make sure that our people can be the ones that are able to, maximize and take opportunities.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want our people not only to become property owners, but to stay there, have that equity go up, and themselves build that generational wealth.
Absolutely. Most generational wealth is created through real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And just educating our community, right? It all begins with that. And, a lot of our people, my grandmother was able to pass down her house to me. That created some form of wealth for myself and my siblings. So just being in that position, I think, is important versus just allowing others from outside of the community to come in and kind of take over the community, because once they are in position, we no longer have a say.
Absolutely. They try to tell us what's good for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I grew up in the back of the yard, so it was mainly a Black and brown neighborhood. And now that Pilsen's pretty much like gentrified, now it's kind of moving towards that area. And what's hard about our people is that they're afraid of changes because they think changes are going to just negatively impact the community and their family and their generation. And just telling them like, hey, pull out, 40 grand from your home, from your equity, if you do own it, and try to turn it, buy another property or do something. Right. Like, they're like, I've paid it off.
Right.
I own it. And that's where they want to go. Like, that's their goal.
A lot of our people look at debt as a negative thing. And, I try to explain that is leverage if you use it the right way. Now I'm not saying go run up, all credit cards.
Yeah, cha-ching, let's go.
But as long as that debt is creating wealth, generational wealth, and creating an asset for you and, your loved ones, I think that's what's key, right? I tell everybody I'm hundreds of $1 million in debt.
Mm-hmm.
My leverage is the fact that I'm using that debt to my advantage and actually creating cash flow, positive cash flow monthly through that leverage. No big company is without debt.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to just kind of follow that blueprint to ensure that we're creating that opportunities for ourselves and throughout our community.
One of the positive things about being in debt is actually that helps you on tax purposes. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that don't know that when it comes to business or, being an entrepreneur, that you, in a tax purpose bracket, in some instances, it's helping you.
Right.
You need, owning your home is great. Owning it 100% is great, but you don't get that tax benefit anymore when you're paying on it constantly every year.
Exactly. So exactly, because you get to write off the interest from those homes, the depreciation of those homes. Again, we have to, I think it's critical that we as leaders, we educate our community and, the benefit of home ownerships and, the benefit, the tax benefits, everything, because a lot of times we might be in positions where, we're the first generation homeowners. So I think it's definitely key to educate our community. So that's what we'll be doing a lot on this podcast, is just empowering, educating the community on different things, from financing to real estate to, again, politics, small business, entrepreneurship. If you know Mrflipdahood, Dwayne Tuss, I'm a serial entrepreneur. There's nothing more passionate then for me, then, empowering my community, created through job creations, affordable housing. So I'm excited, man. Anytime I get an opportunity to help and educate my community, I'm all for it. So
100%.
I'm excited about this podcast and, what we're going to bring to the community, and hopefully we can change some lives and, just educate our people. And then if that is accomplished, then I know then I, accomplished the goal that I set out.
Yeah.
So,
It's always a great feeling.
absolutely.
Especially, when a couple years go by and then you run into somebody like, hey, man, you told me this one time and I heard you say this and blah, blah, blah. Thank you. I appreciate it. And
Right.
it's always nice to just, know that you're helping.
Right. And that's the key, I definitely don't do this for myself. I do this for my community, and just always looking to see how someone can, in a community that's coming up, you never know how many lives you're impacting, through, your story, just people just observing from the outside, through the motivations you put on social media, through the education you put on social media. You'll be surprised at the lives that you're impacting.
Yeah.
And if I can continue to do that within my community, I would say, job well done.
Yeah, 100%. So a little bit about me, for those of you that are wondering who the hell is Ray Martinez. I'm actually a co-founder and co-owner with Carlos Medina for Done by Design. We do a lot of marketing, media, and focus. One of our main focuses, not everything, but is in the fashion industry. So we have like fashion shows coming up. Like we get hired by other companies to produce and direct fashion shows. So that's a lot of the things that we do. But I'm also a co-founder for the 1937 Group.
Okay.
The 1937 Group is a cannabis company in the state of Illinois. We have Helios Labs, which is a grow facility in Broadview, Illinois, and we just opened up our second dispensary in Forest Park. Our first one, we just had our 1-year anniversary a couple weeks ago, and that's in Tilton, Illinois.
Nice.
And we take pride in it as well, because we are a Black and brown company that got together, that filled out the applications together and tried to get these licenses and win them when we got them. So partially, yes, it's luck, but at the same time, it was hard work.
Right.
We were almost at my house almost every day after our 9 to 5s till about 1, 2, 3 in the morning, filling out this application and making sure that we understood it. And when we submitted it, if there was any questions that we had to fix, So you got to put blood, sweat, and tears into what you're trying to do. I get that, bro. I get that. Oh, you're lucky. It's like, come on, man.
They see the finished product.
Yeah,
They don't see all the hard work.
Yep.
They see you at the peak of the mountain. They don't see the climb. So,
absolutely.
It's definitely key. A lot of times people look at me again, well, you got lucky. You got in at this time. You got into real estate. No, I know a lot of people that got into real estate at the same time I did, but are not at, not at the same point. Again, I like to say, I'm the first one in my office every day and the last one to leave, and I say that proudly, because I know the work that it takes to put in. I recently read 50 Cent's book, and, I didn't realize how much we had in common. He was like, the hours he put in, the late nights. I was looking at myself like, man, I ain't working hard enough, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want home at 7, 8 o'clock when there's still work to get done. So, it kind of challenged me to say, I got to put in extra work. And I've always said, in business as an entrepreneur, right, you're going to have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Real quick.
Because it's going to be a lot of times, it's no, for the most part, it's no guaranteed checks. You got to go out there and hustle every single day. And the minute you take your foot off the gas, you might not have literally food on the table, because it gets that serious sometimes for entrepreneurs. So again, you got to put that work in, right? You can't just sit back and, one of my favorite quotes is Kobe, job finished, job not finished. We still got work to get done. So I kind of model myself after that, look at some of the greats and kind of, constantly reading, educating myself and say, what can I do that align myself with these people in terms of the work ethic? And again, it's simple math, but at the same time, it's complex, right? It's simple in the sense that all you got to do is put in the work. But the complexity is constantly putting in and consistently putting in that work.
Man, working weekends, work until 10 p.m. Like, that's not luck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Working Sundays and then still working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah. How many parties, weddings, everything you miss, man.
Man, and people always, you know, it comes with a lot of sacrifice, right?
100%.
You know, from the sacrifice from not being able to necessarily make all the events with, you know, family and friends. And, you know, again, Kobe used the analogy. He's like, you know, being great comes with sacrifice. You're not always going to be a great friend. Yeah. You know, you're not always going to be a great this, a great that, because it's going to be, you know, things come up and you're like, man, I got to put this work in. I understand that, you know, you want me here, you want me there, but, you know, I know what I got to do and I got to put that work in. So, again, you're going to have to take, you know, have family that's understanding and willing to, you know, allow you to make those sacrifices and, you know, work-life balance and as an entrepreneur is not realistic in a lot of cases.
You do need it though.
You absolutely
need it. You know, there are times like I got lucky. My wife is like, she'll tell me like, no, you're shutting down this day. Like this day we're doing
absolutely. This. You definitely got to get that in.
And it always happens to be on those days where I need to get that done. I need to do it. Yeah. I know. So, hour ringing. It's crazy.
Exactly. I remember couple weeks ago, I went to go pick up my grandson, take him to school. He opened the door. He's like, Papa, you know, and it was like, you know, the little 30 minutes that I took out the day to take him, drop him off school was worth it. So, you know, those opportunities showing up for, you know, donuts with the grandkid, any little thing. Absolutely. You got to have that.
You got to remind yourself why you're doing it.
Absolutely.
You know,
you got to have that why. Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. It's definitely not for the, you know, materialistic gain or the monetary gain. It's definitely to be able to provide, you know, financial freedom for the family and, you know, loved ones. And, you know, I like to think, you know, so my kids and they don't have to work as hard as I did.
Yeah. That, you know, and that also comes into where you don't want your kids, and I have this conversation all the time. You don't want your kids to work as hard as you do, but then you turn around and you look at your kids like, God damn, right, you ain't doing nothing. Right, exactly. Why are you being lazy?
That's when again, the balance of entitlement comes, right? You know, well, Daddy, you worked this hard. Well, I shouldn't have to. And it's like, no, I worked this hard. Not that you don't have to, but you got to put that work in because you're not going to appreciate anything that you have if you didn't put that work in for it. So, again, this balance there is what is hard. It's hard.
It's hard because at the same time, you want to give your kids everything you never got.
Right.
But then you're obviously spoiling them, and it makes you feel good to spoil them. But then it's like they turn around and just, it's expected, you know.
Exactly.
And what do you mean I can't get this?
You know, I told my daughter, the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children. Which means those my grandkids that's gonna get it. So don't you go expecting that I'm putting all this work in for you. You know, I'm gonna ensure that you know you're well taken care of. But at the same time, you gotta be in a position to leave an inheritance for your children as well. And again, that goes back to generational wealth, right? Yep. It's not generational wealth. It's not for our only generation, right? We spend it here and we leave it. No, again, the Bible teaches us to leave an inheritance. So. You know, we ain't looking to take it with us, but we are looking to put the next generation in position to where they, you know, get a head start, right? Because a lot of us in the Black and brown community was never given a head start. We always, you know, the finish at the start line, you know, everybody else start, and then Black and brown came right behind, you know, them. So again, if we can give our kids you know, our the next generation that head start, that'll be great. So
that's the plan. That's the goal.
Yeah, right.
You know, you want to sit back and watch your grandkids, hopefully your great grandkids. Just, you know, just be like, yep, I did that.
Yeah, you know, that's what it's all for. You know, I want, you know, when I'm long gone, I want, you know, you go into different families, you see pictures of, you know, the great grandfather on the wall. I want to have my picture on my great grandfather.
Right above that fireplace.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Well,
those are goals, man.
Yeah.
But going back to it, a lot of people don't understand what it takes to get there.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, there are easy ways to try to get there, but those don't last too long.
They don't.
You know, and you know, we've all been around it, but it's hard to really sit there and just try to plan out what you need to do and how you have to get there. And one of the things I've learned is the more people you tell about your plan, the more people don't listen or don't care. That you have to like technically be silent about everything that you're doing, you know, and what I mean by silent is like, we've all had those friends who are like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And they never do it. They don't even start it.
Right.
You know? So it's like, I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
So I'm just going to do it. You know, I'm just going to, you know, put this and go into this and not, and what I've learned as, you know, as time has gone, people start to trust you and they're like, hey, I'm doing this. I'd like for you to partner in with me. Right. You know, so there's a lot of businesses as well that I partner in with, you know, I'm a silent partner or what have you. And, you know, I do whatever I can to get the word out and make sure that business is going well and more work.
Right.
You know, exactly. It's just more work on the plate, but right. I enjoy it. I like working.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely a workaholic. And again, I don't even look at it as work, right? It's right. Like, man, when you're doing something with a passion of love, it's not work. And I never looked at it as, man, I got to go in and do a 9 to 5. I don't look at my clock during the day. Mm-hmm. You know, I just put the work in. I just grind. I grind from the time I get there to the time I leave. And, you know, I know once you put that work in, that grind, the results will follow. And just going back to your point to, you know, having people, you know, reach out to you in terms of business opportunities. I think as time goes, the harder you work and people see the results, they'll bring, you know, people bring ideas to me all the time, you know, and I'm sure they do the same thing with you because, again, they know you get results.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes it can be a slippery slope because, you know, they might be looking at you to put in all the work, you know, so you gotta, you know, kind of be aware of that as well. But, you know, again, you know, even if you go to someone, if they see your track record, you got a proven successful track record, you know, taking businesses and, you know, starting businesses and, you know, making them successful is that much easier to get people to believe in you and your vision. But again, I do believe, you know, moving in silence and just making it happen and, you know, boom, there you go. They see the end result.
And then you're lucky.
Exactly.
And then you're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
One of the things my dad taught me that I actually still go by is never turn down a meeting. Because you never know who you're going to meet. You never know how you can help them, how they can help you. Or you can be having a meeting about a specific topic and then just having that conversation. You guys are actually talking about the same thing on a whole different level. And that can just blow up there too. So like I've always met with everyone that ever wanted to meet me.
Wow.
And even when they're coming to me with a business idea and it's something I won't do, I'm just not going to say no. I'm going to give them advice, you know, or introduce them to the right people that can help them get there. But, you know, unfortunately sometimes that path is the direction I'm going. And it's not an insult to them. And I make sure that they understand that, you know, but I'm always going to be there rooting for them. And if they ever want to hear anything or give them any more advice, I'm always there.
Right.
You know,
so I like that. I kind of like that philosophy. But again, you know, so do you say you take every meeting that everybody?
I try to. I absolutely try to. Yeah. Okay. Anytime. Yeah. Like there's been I'm a board member for like a couple not-for-profits. We have our own not-for-profit called the Viewfinder as well that helps kids do podcasting, photography, videography.
That's awesome.
As well. And so we're constantly busy, constantly having meetings, and I'm always either on the phone, I'm texting, I'm emailing, FaceTiming, Google Meet, everything, man.
Yeah, I'm the same way, right? I'm the same way because again, you know, different people, you know, always looking to get some of your time because when they see success, people like to attach themselves to a successful person, a successful business or whatever because they want to, you know, see how they could, you know, implement that in their lives as well. So again, that's, you know, a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about, empowerment. You know, I love the idea, like you said, you're doing, giving back to the kids through showing them how to do podcasts. That's something we want to do here as well on, you know, the community empowerment, kind of just teach the next generation on, money management, financial literacy, because again, a lot of people ask, well, why they don't teach it in school?
Which is a great question, though.
But the thing about it is, it's not in the best interest of the United States to teach it in school.
Of course.
Because they have to keep their money flowing through the, economy. So if they taught money management and responsible money management, literally that can crash the economy. So it's not to our, to the United States advantage to teach that. So we got to ensure that, as leaders within the community, right, that we're teaching our kids the financial literacy, financial responsibility. If you come up on a large sum of money, what to do, the importance of compound interest, and the importance of real estate investment, owning a home. All of these things are some of the things we're going to be discussing. But again, I'm just excited, man, excited about being able to have that opportunity to give back and talk to the community and educate the community. So, I'm kind of looking forward to everyone's input on, what you want to see coming from the Empowerment Community Podcast. So let's get it. Let's talk. I need your feedback. Talk to us. Again, DM me if you got any questions, any topics you'd like to see coming up. Serial entrepreneurs, I'm sure either Rico or myself will be able to answer it. So
Rico.
Yeah. I'm horrible.
Ray. Oh, man.
Okay. So Ray, definitely, man.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for stopping in, man. I really appreciate the conversation. Looking forward to it, man.
I appreciate it, man. Good luck with everything that you're doing and your future endeavors that I hear about that you're going into. So that's super awesome, man.
Thank you.
We're always here for you as well, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.